Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Semi Pro USL Show. We are back for the June 25th edition, 2025. And hey, a lot of stuff to get through today. I just want to let you know I may have to suddenly get off here. I'm waiting for a pretty massive phone call. So if that phone call comes through while we're doing this, I'm just going to kind of end the stream. And I'm sorry if we don't get to everything. So I want to kind of bring something up first where Kingshammer appears to basically have won their division in W League, but according to one of the random tiebreakers, technically Racing Louisville has a chance to win it all, but it's very unlikely to the fact that Racing Louisville has already put out, like, come watch our final match. So we'll see. So something interesting from Chris, who's from Talking USL to you. I'm just going to read this verbatim, and it's very fascinating to me. Something a little fun I found. This is Chris. Lone Star SC hosts AHFC Royals on what will be the final match in the Lone Star division. Winner of that game wins the division and makes the playoffs. Very big. As for what happens with a draw, no one knows. Lone Star has a game in hand in it and 2 points back. If Lone Star wins that game in hand, then they advance with a draw. If not, AHFC advance with a draw. So pretty big stuff coming there. So check that out. Pay attention to that. So yeah, that's some interesting bit of information. So keep your eyes on that. So let's go ahead and go out now to League 2, where I'm going to tell you about yesterday's matches. I'm going to try to go fast because we have a lot of scores to go over. So first things first, Colorado International Soccer Academy fall 3-2 to Albion SC Colorado, where Albion SC go up early. They get a goal in the 9th minute from Damian Arguello. But Stefan Zenacker gets a goal back to make it 1-1. But then Colorado International gets the lead. Andres Gomez gets a goal in the 52nd minute, but equalized soon after. Matthew Vogel gets a goal in the 64th to make it 2-2, and the game winner comes from Samuel Scarth. So that is how that one would end. Both teams come out in their 4-3-3. To quote Ballard FC, what was it? The news of the goalless droughts for Ballard were greatly exaggerated as they win 11-0 versus Tacoma Stars. Tacoma Stars come out in their 4-4-2. Meanwhile, the Ballard come out in their 4-3-3. So I'm just going to tell you that, yeah, they won 11-0. There's a lot of goal scores. We have too many matches to get through today. So congratulations, Ballard. Tacoma, I'm sorry. Just a bad day at the office. Lansing City Football fall 2-3 to AFC Ann Arbor. Both teams come out in their 4-3-3. Ann Arbor gets the lead early from Kyle Pearson in the 18th minute, but Samuel Dolo Baipu gets the goal back to make it 1-1 for Lansing City. And in fact, Lansing City takes a 2-1 lead in the halftime from David Magalhaes. But in the 67th minute, Leor Holtz gets the equalizer to make it 2-2. But after that, Rude Manin gets a second yellow card, which means AFC Ann Arbor down one man to close out this match. But unfortunately for Lansing, they cannot take advantage of it because in the 89th minute, Sahel Yessen gets a second yellow card as well, makes it 10v10, and Leor Holtz gets the game winner in the 90th. Both teams were in their 4-3-3. Peoria City get back to winning ways with a 3-1 victory over FC Ambush, and it was an ambush by Peoria City. Peoria comes out in there 3-5-2. Meanwhile, Ambush come out in there 4-3-3. And it is a goal right before halftime by Tanner Anderson to make it 1-0 from Peoria. In the 49th minute, Gibangio Kalai gets a goal in the 49th minute, and to make it a brace and to complete the technically 3 goals in 10 minutes, although one was right before halftime, so it kind of doesn't count. Kalai gets his brace. Michael Holiday gets the consolation goal back for FC Ambush in the 72nd minute, and that's how that one would end 3-1. Vermont Green and AC Connecticut end 1-0 or 0-0. Don't see a whole lot of those. And then Virginia Beach win 3-0 versus Virginia Marauders. The Virginia Beach get their first goal from Joshua Condit. And then Barrett Saul gets a goal in the 25th minute. The Marauders come out in their 3-4-3 with Virginia Beach in their 4-3-3. And Samuel Murphy finishes off the match with a goal in the 65th minute to make it 3-0. The South Carolina United Bantams win 2-0 over Charlotte Eagles. Bantam gets started off early in their 5-2-3 with the Eagles in their 4-3-3, and it is Ethan Hackenberg that gets a goal in the 5th minute and then gets his brace in the 32nd minute, and from there it was closed up shop. Nothing much happened there. 2-0 is the way that one would end. And finally, my personal best team in the USL League 2. Asheville City went 4-0. Asheville City. Goodness gracious. Edouard Nice gets a goal in the 11th minute. And then right before halftime, Ernest Mensah gets a goal in the 42nd. In the 55th, David Perez gets a goal. And then Jack Casey gets his goal in the 66th. Just so they can have a little bit of fun, East Atlanta gets a second yellow card from Kalen Griffin. They finish the match down 10-10. Then Asheville City come out in their 3-4-3. Meanwhile, East Atlanta comes out in their 4-4-2. And that's what happened yesterday in League 2. So let's go out to the W League, where we have a lot to get over, people. We have a lot to go over. We're going to try to get through this fast. We're going to try to do this quick. We first start off with Charlotte Eagles. They win 1-0 over South Carolina Bantams. Charlotte comes out in their 4-4-2 with South Carolina in their 4-3-3. And the first and only goal, the game winner, Elena Quinn gets her goal in the 55th minute, and that's how that one would end 1-0. A second 1-0 has hit, and it is Flower City 1872 fall 1-0 to Cleveland Force. Flower City, both teams come out in their 4-3-3, and it is in the 70th minute from Isabella Antonio. That ends up being the only goal in the match and the game winner from Antonio to give Cleveland Force the victory. Rochester fall 2-1 to Sioux Falls City. Rochester, of course, of Minnesota, just to let you know. They come out in their 4-3-3, as do Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls gets a goal to start at Naja Mati gets a goal in the 61st minute, but the equalizer from Ana Ricarte Pacheco gets her goal. She gets her goal, the equalizer, in the 74th minute. But to end the match, to get the game winner, a massive game winner, Avery Korshing gets the goal in the 90th minute to get all 3 points for Sioux Falls City. Lancaster Inferno get a 1-0 win over the Virginia Marauders. The Marauders come out in their 4-3-3, and I have no idea what Lancaster came out with. Couldn't tell you. But I could tell you Jessica Weinholtz gets the game winner, another 1-0, and that one came in the 45th minute. But I have no idea what formation they came out in. But congratulations, Jessica, for getting the game winner. Colorado International fall 5-0 to Albion SC. Colorado come out in their 4-4-2 with the Albion coming out in their 3-5-2. Now I'm really going to go over all the goal scorers there. California Storm also win 5-0 over Marin SC Sirens. The Storm come out in their 4-1-4-1. Meanwhile, the Sirens come out in their 3-4-3. I love interesting lineup decisions. This one would end 5-0. Again, not going over all the goal scores there. Tacoma Galaxy on the women's side had a whole lot better of a night, but with this one ending 1-1 versus Salmon Bay. The Galaxy get the goal started from Jesselyn Lenz, or Jensen Lenz, sorry. She gets the goal started in the 22nd minute as they come out in their 4-3-3, but Salmon Bay get the equalizer in their 4-1-2-1-2 in the 82nd minute from Chloe Siloff. She gets the equalizer to rescue a point for Salmon Bay. Greenville Liberty win 1-0 over the Swarm of Southern Soccer Academy, and it was a goal in the 44th minute from Julia Simmons. Both teams come out in their 4-3-3, and that's how this one ended 1-0. A whole lot of 1-0s. I feel like we don't see that many of these. Indy 11 fall to Racing Louisville to win a little Louisville Indy proximity something football contest. It's something like that. The women's side of it, where Racing Louisville get an early 2-0 lead. Isabel Smith in the 21st minute and in the 33rd minute to get a brace. Both teams in their 4-3-3, by the way. And Indy get the consolation goal from Olivia Joyce, and that's how that one would end. The Carolina Ascent, the Trailblazers, draw 3-3 to NC Courage U23s. The Trailblazers get an early 2 goals. The first one comes from Alika Warner. She gets a goal in the 6th minute, and Alika Warner gets her brace in the 21st minute. But not to be outdone, Amaris Bumba gets a goal in the 43rd minute, and then the 45th minute, Ivy Gardner gets a goal in the 45th. So it's 2-2 going into halftime. Right before the match ends, Sadie Peterson gets a goal in the 85th for the Trailblazers of the Carolina Ascent, but an own goal gets the points drawn in the 90th minute. Heartbreaker for the Ascent, but kind of what NC Courage does. That's just kind of who they are. Let's see. Asheville City get another major win over Chattanooga Red Wolves, 2-1. The Red Wolves get this one started. Caroline Richvalsky gets a goal in the 45th, but to equalize, Emma Sheehan gets her goal in the 63rd, and in the 81st minute, Grebo Thriso gets a goal. The Asheville come out in their 4-4-2, and the Chattanooga comes out in the save with me 4-3-3. Sporting Jacks get a 6-0 win over Brookhouse FC. Not really going to go over this, but Brookhouse in their 3-4-3 and Jacks in their 4-3-3. Kingshammer FC Cincinnati gets a 4-3 victory, and this one is fun. In the first minute, we get the goal started in Kingshammer's 3-4-3, and I'm trying to see the goal scorer. I do believe it's Kennedy Clark, and she gets it done in the first minute. Yes, minute number 1. And then Abigail Townsend gets her goal to make it 2-0 for Kingshammer in the 11th minute. Faith Roaring gets a goal in the 22nd minute to make it 3-0, and Kylie Simmons makes it 4-0 in the first half in the 28th minute. But Lexington would not quit. They come out in their 4-4-2. Natalie Mitchell in the 60th minute. Lauren Gogol gets her goal in the 65th minute. And to make it a little scary for the Kingshammer, Natalie Mitchell gets her brace in the 82nd minute. But that is how that one would end, 4-3 in favor of Kingshammer. And finally, Midwest United fall 4-1 to Kalamazoo. Midwest do take, in the first minute, goodness gracious, what am I saying? Kalamazoo get a first minute goal where Delaney Caldwell gets her goal in the first minute as they come out in their 3-5-2 to Kalamazoo. But Midwest immediately get the equalizer from Jocelyn Arema, where she gets a goal again in the 5th minute. But right before halftime is what ends up being the game winner. Kendall Akins gets a goal in the 39th minute. Kendall Akins gets that brace in the 56th minute, and Delaney Caldwell gets her brace in the 62nd minute. Okay, lots of stuff, lots of things going on here. All right, so let's now get into what's happening today. We are coming into the end of the season, so if your local club is not making the playoffs, this may be your last chance to go see them. So pay attention, see who's local, see what's going on. We have a whole lot to go over today. Goodness gracious. Red River taking on Hattiesburg FC. San Francisco Glen taking on Academica SC. New Jersey Copa taking on Staten Island SC. Dayton Dutch Lions taking on West Virginia United. Weston FC taking on Fort Lauderdale United. Cleveland Forest taking on Akron City FC. FC Buffalo taking on Steel City FC. Kalamazoo FC taking on Northern Indiana FC. Sunflower State FC taking on Santa Fe Wanderers. AC Houston Surge taking on Twin City Toucan. AHFC Royals taking on GFI. Cedar Stars, Rush taking on Hudson Valley Hammers, the Louisiana Crew taking on the Denton Diablo, San Francisco City taking on the Martin FC Legends, Albany Rush taking on NEFC, Boston City taking on the Boston Bolts, and nice little derby going on there. Seacoast United Phantoms taking on the Western Mass Pioneers, Charlotte Independence 2 taking on Tobacco Road, Birmingham Legion FC 2 taking on Tennessee SC, Brevard SC taking on Brookhouse FC, Nona FC taking on Brave SC, AMSG FC taking on Coachella SC. Kings Hammer FC taking on Columbus, taking on Fort Wayne FC. Lexington SA taking on Kings Hammer FC Cincinnati. Real Central New Jersey taking on LVU Rush. And then there's more. Reading United taking on Delaware FC. Christos taking on Annapolis Blues. I think that's a derby match, so that's fun. Bigfoot FC taking on FC Olympia. Hill County Lobos taking on Corpus Christi FC. Manhattan SC taking on Ironbound SC. Morris Elite taking on FC Motel and STA. McKinney Chupacabras. I was doing so well. Taking on Little Rock Rangers. Apethos taking on Dothan United. Southern Soccer Academy taking on Columbus United. Miami AC taking on FC Miami FC. Charlottesville Blues taking on Lions Bridge. Impact Tuxants hosting Northern Virginia. And breathe. All right, now let's go over to the women's side one only. I will get there in a second. Un segundo. Here we go. Birmingham Legion WFC taking on Tennessee FC. AMSG FC taking on Southern California Dutch Lions. Miami AC taking on FC Miami City. Charlottesville Blues taking on Virginia Athletic WFC. Chicago City Dutch Lions taking on Riverlight FC. Pac Tuxan taking on Northern Virginia. Brevard FC Riptides taking on Fort Lauderdale United. Toledo Villa taking on Detroit City FC. West Seattle Roadies taking on FC Olympia. Wake FC taking on South Georgia Tormenta. Lone Star taking on the San Antonio Athenians. AC Connecticut taking on Morris Elite. And the Cedar Stars taking on Long Island Rush Riders. That makes no sense. And that's everything that happened yesterday. That's everything happening today. Hopefully tomorrow we will get into a little bit of stats, lots of standings, lots of stuff to be decided. I still don't think there's anybody that's clinched yet in League 2, so we're getting there. It should be a good time. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much. And last night we had a little bit of the USL show going on. So if you haven't listened to that, it's on all podcast players. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching another episode of the USL Show.
The USL Show is now proudly part of the Protagonist podcast family. Please go to protagonistsoccer.com to check out more work. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see everyone again next time.